Hello, and welcome to the Budget Knitter Podcast. This is episode 31. My name is Spargur. I am your host. I am coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live. And it is 3 days before Christmas. That's when I'm filming this. If you are new, thank you so much for dropping by. If you are a what I call seasoned subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and joining me during the holiday season. I know that it has been a while since I have posted, and I didn't think about how busy the holidays are for everybody. And that has been the case for me. It has just been one thing after another, and so I'm happy to be here filming this podcast before Christmas, and hopefully it'll be up before Christmas so you can have it, if you don't watch it before Christmas, maybe you can watch it during or a little bit after. You can have it for your holiday season. For those of you who are new, real quick, you can find me, this is Duchess, you can find me on Ravelry as WSpargurKnits, you can find me on Twitter as WSpargurKnits, you can find me on Instagram as WillMSU. There's a Facebook group for this podcast, which is facebook.com/thebudgetknitter. There is also a Ravelry group for this podcast, which is the Budget Knitter Podcast. You can search that in the groups on Ravelry. And then I also have an Etsy shop, which is thebudgetknitter.etsy.com. I don't have a lot in there right now. I have a few project bags, some stitch markers available at the current moment. I'm finding that dyeing yarn is a little difficult to do in the cold weather, mostly because I don't want to be in it. Oh my goodness, this puppy is ready to play, and that is not what this time was supposed to be. Hi, baby. Hi. Okay. So for those of you who are new, follow me on all of those things. You can catch up on all the wonderful things that I'm doing, as well as I am one of the local dyers for Mad Knitters Yarn here in Henderson, Nevada, which serves the greater Las Vegas area. If you ever come to Las Vegas, you should look her up and stop in. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. It's a great shop. I just bought a few things there myself, which I will show you later. So real quick, there is one thing I need to point out. Annette Toomey, if you are watching, the Knit Crate winner video did go up a couple weeks ago, and I had two winners, John F. and Annette Toomey. I've heard from John. Annette, I have not heard from you. I do ask that you please reach out to me at thebudgetknitter@gmail.com and give me your mailing address so that I can get your winning crate out to you. You were one of my two winners. I don't want to have to give it to somebody else. I believe that you should have the opportunity to receive what you won. If you're having trouble, I know a few people have had trouble actually sending anything to my email. So if you're having any trouble with that, find me on Ravelry, message me on Instagram, whatever you need to do to try and get your address to me, so that I can get that package out to you. John's should arrive before Christmas, but you know how the postal service is right around the holidays. So yours will come after. I was hoping to get it to you before, but please send me your address so that I can get that out to you. I'm really excited for you to receive it. The other thing is because I don't have any room for it, so... What? She always finds... What are you doing? She's coughing. I don't know why. Anyway, moving on. A little bit of business here. So a lot of you have entered my massive giveaway that I plan to do. With how busy the holidays have been, I did not realize that I could not facilitate getting all of that done and things shipped out. And, the holidays can be expensive, so I have to take in mind how much it's going to cost to ship all of the things that I want to send. So we are going to do that after the new year. That gives me a chance to budget, and that gives me a chance to make sure that everything I want to give away that I do have ready to go. With that being said, later I am going to have in the podcast, I will show you some of the things that I plan to give away. So stay tuned for that. All right, so let's jump right into the works in progress. I'm going to have to find them. They're in a bag. I just have a bag I keep everything in. All right, so I'm just going to kind of pull these out one by one. Okay, well, maybe not that one. That's a later one. Okay. So a while ago, I started a sweater. It was the Incredible Custom Fit Top-Down Raglan Sweater by Pamela Costello. Whew, a lot of words there. Okay. I'd started it, I hadn't really touched it for a while, and then I lost it, and then I found it again. So just kind of a reminder of what it is. So it's just a top-down sweater pattern, but it's designed so that you get the neck that's a little lower in the front than in the back. So I pulled it out, I've done a couple rows, I just wanted to remind you guys what it kind of looks like, so that as I continue to work on it, you know what I'm talking about. The nice thing about this pattern is if you are trying to make a pattern that fits you almost perfectly, this pattern requires a little bit of math, but you can do it with any needles, any yarn, any gauge, and then you just plug that information in, and you do a little bit of math, and it tells you how many to cast on and how many you need for your sleeve, all of this based on your gauge. So it's a really cool pattern. You can do it, you know, if you wanted to do stockinette, if you wanted to do garter, if you wanted to throw in some cables or do some lace or something like that. That pattern would be really great for this. So I just kind of wanted to give you a reminder of what this was, so as you see it in future podcasts, you know what I'm talking about. Alright, this is something I started a while ago, and I think you guys have been following it for like 8 months now. I've made significant progress on it. This is the architecture scarf, and I think last time you saw it, I was somewhere around here. So I've put on quite a few inches of this pattern, and it's a really interesting pattern. It plays with all the different textures just using knit and purl. I'm knitting this on US 5s, fingering weight yarn. I forgot who the designer is. The designer is Jennifer Weissman. It's a pattern on Ravelry. I think it's a paid-for pattern, but I think this one was gifted to me for like my birthday or something at one point. I think it's like a $5 pattern. I don't know. I didn't look recently, but it's an awesome pattern. There are several sizes you can do. There's a small, medium, large, and I'm making even smaller than the small because I realized I didn't have enough yarn to make the small, so I started cutting out. Most of the repeats are done in multiples of 3, so I'm only doing 2/3 of each repeat. So that's kind of fun, but I'm really enjoying this. It's coming along. I'm getting close to the point where I can decrease. Mine's going to look probably more like a stole than an actual scarf, but I'm really excited to see how it's going to turn out when I'm finally done. This is done in a milk cotton. I didn't buy this yarn. The person that this is for bought the yarn on Wish, and he got like 5 little 50-gram balls for $1, I think. And so it's fun. It's just a bunch of different grays. It's a variegated. It's a really interesting thing. I don't think this was the best choice to show off texture, but I still kind of like the way that it's pooling, so it's a little fun. Alright, next thing. Ooh. Okay. So, recently I was at Barnes & Noble, and I saw a magazine with a really cool cardigan in it. I think I actually have the magazine. Well, I thought I did. There it is. So I bought the magazine. It's just called Crochet. But I really liked this cardigan, so I bought it so I could do the pattern, which is... I should earmark this page, shouldn't I? Here we go. The Modern Stripe Top-Down Cardi. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. I think it's a lot of fun. I really like the sleeves on this, at the elbows. I think that's a really cool design. I'm really excited to make this. So I did start it. I haven't gone very far, but I did start it. There's a lot of increasing and things that have to happen on this pattern, but I'm making the extra large, I believe, and it's in a really cool stitch pattern. It uses the extended single crochet stitch, and I've never done that before, so when I found out what it was, I thought that was really cool. And it's really easy to get into the groove of it. Anyway, I'm doing this in Karen Cake's pumpkin spice. It's a worsted weight, which is what the pattern calls for, and the pattern calls for a 5mm hook, but I'm doing it on a 6mm hook because my crochet tension tends to be significantly tighter, and I've found that just the best thing for me to do is just to go up 1mm size from whatever the pattern calls for, and it usually ends up pretty good. So yes, I'm gonna make that. I have a friend who's doing it with me, or he's going to do it with me. I told him I was going to start it after the new year, but then I got the itch and I just decided to start it. What I was trying to do is finish all of the things I had started and not deal with new things until after the new year. I couldn't wait. It's a problem, I know. So I started that. The last work in progress I really have right now is related to a finished object that I'm going to show you later. There's also a bunch of other things in this bag. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I finished my top-down, or my poncho, my knit poncho design that I still need to write the pattern for. Don't worry, it's coming. I'm just perfecting a few things. Well, I decided when I went to Stitches SoCal, I met a lot of people who were like, well, I'm a crocheter, but people don't seem to want to design for crocheters. Do you do any crochet design? And I decided right then and there that I was going to learn. So I bought a book that's everything you need to know about crochet, which I showed in the last podcast, and I have just been learning as much as I can. So I am nearly done with my crochet poncho. I am really excited for this design. I've got a few more, I'm going to do about 5 or 6 more rows of this V-stitch border, but I'm really excited with this design. It's going to have kind of like a cowl neck that'll fold down. I love it. I think I want simple. I love simplicity. I think crochet has such a beautiful fabric created just by doing simple stitches. Like stockinette is beautiful, but there's something just about a crochet stitch that I just really, really love. This is all half double crochets. The piece is crocheted flat in a triangle and then folded over, and you pick up stitches for your neck, and then you just work in the round, and then you connect the open pieces with a single crochet all the way down, and then you add your border. It's a really simple idea, and what I was hoping to get with this is that if the design works out, then not only do I have a basis for future designs, I have something that is simple, that works in so many colors in so many ways that people can also take and then modify themselves. You know, if maybe they want to use a V-stitch instead of the half double crochet, I want to give them the tools to be able to do that. So I'm really excited for this. It fits me pretty well. I am going to take some pictures as soon as I've got it done and blocked and washed. Because it's in 100% acrylic, I am going to wash it. The other one turned out great after I washed it. This is done in Karen Big Cakes in the Cranberry Crisp colorway, which is one of my favorite colorways. If you've been following me for a while, you'll remember that the first flax sweater I ever knit was also done in this colorway. So that's really exciting. This is basically just all the leftovers from that sweater. So I'm really excited to finish this and to show it to you guys and then get these patterns written up and to get some pattern testers out and working on this. I've got a couple people in mind already who have volunteered, but as soon as I'm ready to get pattern testers, if you are a crocheter, this is definitely for you. I'm really excited to offer something new and exciting and simple. So be on the lookout for that. Alright, so I've got a couple finished objects to show you. And so I want to start with one that I'm actually giving away today. I'm selling it to the person who paid me to make it. So this pattern went up online. It circulated Facebook for a little bit. By the time I found it, it had been removed because they couldn't sell the pattern due to copyright, because it's a licensed character. So they just removed the pattern instead of making it free, which I thought was interesting. Anyway, so a friend of a friend of a friend had downloaded the pattern before they had to remove it, and it was given to me, and a person came up to me and said, hey, can you make this? I know it's really last minute, but I would really like it for my husband. So I did, and to kind of make it legal, they're only paying me for my time, they're not paying for the yarn, and they're not paying for the pattern, they're literally just paying me for my time, which didn't take me very long. So anyway, I want to show it to you. It is the Grinch. Isn't it so cute? He's adorable. This is a corner-to-corner crochet scarf. It's very, very long. The rest of it's red, so it's like he's wearing a Santa hat. Actually, one thing I need to do before I give it to her today is I need to make the pom-pom to put at the end, so it's like the little ball in the hat. So I'm going to do that before I hand it over to the person who requested it. But this was so much fun to make. Actually, the part I hated the most was these eyes. They turned out great. I hated doing it. I don't like little things that I have to sew on. It seems tedious and annoying to me. Again, I'm all about instant gratification. So this is actually what took the longest. The whole scarf took me maybe 2-3 hours crochet time. This took me 2-3 hours to crochet and assemble. So, no, beautiful pattern. Unfortunately, I can't tell you where to get it because it's not there. Again, it's a pattern that I'm fortunate to have, but I can't hand it out. If you're familiar with corner-to-corner crochet and making little eyes and stuff, you could probably figure it out, but unfortunately I can't give out the pattern. Anyway, so that's a finished object. I actually forgot I had that until I pulled it out of the bag. The second finished object, which you will have seen on Instagram, is my knit poncho. This took so long to knit because I was doing so many things at once. But what I love about this is it's knit flat. You fold it in half, you pick up your stitches, and then you knit your collar. I actually did a single crochet to put this edge together, and then I crocheted a border. This pattern I kind of wanted to market to people who knit and crochet. I think that there are more and more people who are doing both. I think there's a lot of people who are starting to see how useful one can be versus the other, or, you know, if you're trying to make a blanket and you need to do it quickly, crochet is so much faster. I find crochet is great when trying to use up my scraps or using my bulky yarn. So I think there are a lot of people out there who are really learning to do both, and there's not a lot of patterns for people who are bistitchable. There are people who will take a knit pattern and then they'll add their own crochet flair to it, but I have yet to really come across a whole lot of patterns that use both as part of the pattern. So the idea was to kind of market this to the bistitchable people. That being said, I know that that is asking a lot of some people who only knit. And so what I'm going to do is I do plan to knit a second one of these because, to be honest, I was doing a lot of trial and error, and I did not write down what I was doing. So I'm going to have to knit a second one, which kind of sucks, but I remember most of what I did because the body of it is really simple. It's the neck that I need to figure out a little math for. And I've never written crochet directions, so that I'm gonna have to figure out. Anyway, the second one I knit, I actually want to do a knit-on border so that those people who don't crochet don't get left with like half of a project. So I'm gonna look at border ideas for knit borders and see what I can come up with that I like. I really like this kind of lacy, it's 2 rows of V-stitch, well, actually no, 2 rows of half double crochet, 2 rows of double crochet V-stitch, a row of half double crochet, and then a row of chain 5, skip 2, single crochet, and next stitch. I guess that's all that I would really have to write, isn't it? Anyway, so this is in Karen Big Cake's Cherry Compote. I don't know. Anyway, really nice colors. I've actually discovered a couple of other ways to wear this. other than the way I originally intended, and I still love the way that I originally intended to wear this, but there's a couple other ways to wear it that I want to take some photos with to show you, because that kind of inspired how to wear the crochet one that I created. So these patterns will be coming soon. Not over the holidays, definitely. I'd say give me a few more months. I want to perfect a few things, but I've got some other design gigs coming up too. So you're going to be seeing a lot of new designs coming from me because I took on those roles. So anyway, this is great. Finished object. I actually wore it yesterday and I loved it. Wore it to the movies. It's so comfortable, and I got a few compliments on it, which was awesome. Some other finished objects I made a lot of hats and mitts for people for Christmas or for the holidays, and I've given all those away, so I don't have any to show. But if you go to my Instagram, I think it's on my Instagram, there's a picture of all the stuff that I made for my coworkers. Wait, no, I don't think I posted that picture. I think I only posted the one after I wrapped it. Anyway, okay, so let me insert a picture here of everything that I made for my coworkers. And they loved it. There were some pictures there of them wearing it, which was awesome. They had a great time, and they all loved the colors I gave them. I told them they could trade if they wanted to, but they all loved what I picked out for them. So that was really awesome, just to see them really excited about the gifts that I made them. It just fills me with so much warmth and pride when somebody loves something that I make for them. Alright, so now I want to show you some new things that I've gotten recently, some things I discovered while I was out shopping, or some things that I got from my local yarn store. Some of them are kind of budget friendly, some of them aren't. But I've been I've been seeing what's out there, what's available, what's new, and I love a lot of the stuff that my local yarn store owner brings into her shop, and sometimes I just can't resist. And it being the holidays, I did splurge a little bit. But I do want to show you a few of those things, and I'm going to start with the more expensive and kind of work my way down. So yesterday at the shop, she got this shipment in. Uh-oh. Now I'm going to have to find it. Watch me be the person that left it. No, here it is. Okay. Pretty sure she would have messaged me if I had left it. Stay. Okay. She got it in this beautiful shipment of yarn yesterday, and I couldn't resist. It was $22 a skein, but I just had to have one. This is Juniper Moon Farm. It's their Harriet Fine Baby Alpaca blended with nylon for durability. This is an alpaca nylon sock yarn. I am in love with this. I love it so much. I fell in love with this deep, deep purple. The colorway is Nazca Skies. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I'm pretty sure she will have this on her website. Link in the video description box below. Maybe not yet. It kind of takes her like a day or two. Anyway, it's so hard to see, but it's like purple, but there's tonals where it's a little bit lighter. I don't know how much of this you can see, but it is so soft and so fine. It's supposed to be a sock yarn, but I'm not making socks with this. I don't trust it, because alpaca, it is really soft. But I think there's a shawl I want to make that I wanted to use this for. But anyway, I had to get this. I couldn't not get it. So, definitely not within everybody's budget, but it's just one of those things that you see it and you just have to have it, and I couldn't resist. So I did get it. But moving on. She also got in some other sock yarn that I absolutely love. There it is. So, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Queensland. I love the Queensland collection. They have so many cool different yarns in different wools and different textures and colors. So, they got a new or she got a new fingering weight yarn in called Perth. Queensland Collection Perth. And I love these colors. I'm definitely making a pair of socks out of one of these. Anyway, so the first one I bought was this one. It is so bright. I don't know how bright it is to you, but it is very, very bright. This is called Rainbow Reef, and I'm going to make a pair of socks out of these because I can't not have rainbow socks. So socks will be made out of this one. Then I also got Tasmanian Bay. A lot of purples, some greens, very kind of cool colors. It just spoke to me on a, I love cool colors. I love the way that it looks. So I couldn't resist this one. I did have to, I did have to get it. So I got that. And then I also got Alice Springs. Now the reason I got this one is because I loved the way that this one made me feel. The colors to me, again, I don't know how much of this is translating, but to me this is like old-fashioned Christmas, because it's like muted blues and some greens and some kind of like muted yellows and reds and grays. It just feels like an old-fashioned Christmas to me, and I saw it and it just felt warm and fuzzy, and I was like, well, I have to have that. So I ended up getting this. I was trying to choose between these two, and I actually asked a consensus of the yarn store, like, which one do you think you like better? And, I told them how, I like the way this one looked, but I like the way this one made me feel, and I ended up getting a 50-50, split evenly down the middle on who thought I should get which one, and I was like, well, I guess that's the answer, I'm getting both. These were $13 each. For sock yarn, for 100 grams of sock yarn, I think $13 is actually a pretty good deal. So, yes, if your shop has these, I recommend them. They come in so many other colors. They're a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see what I'm going to make with these as I continue to add to my growing hoard. But yes, Queensland Collection Perth. I highly recommend this. All right, I have two other things. I got this because I think I'm going to make a hat and mitt set out of it. It's the Ella Rae Seasons. It's just color 50. I don't think she has colorway names, but it's purples and grays and blues. I love the way this kind of spoke to me. It's very in my wheelhouse. I'm very much on kind of a fall but blues and purples kick right now, so this is very much where I am. I plan to crochet a hat and mitts out of this matching set, probably for me, because I haven't made myself something in a while, so I think that this is definitely going to be a me thing. But I love it. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. It is machine washable wool blend. It is 76% acrylic, 14% wool, 16% polyamide. So it's, it's a synthetic natural blend, which I love. It makes it durable, but makes it breathable and warm. So Ella Rae Seasons, if your shop has this, I also recommend this. I think this was $8, maybe $8 for 100 grams. All right, the last thing I have was something, I was in Joann's, I was looking for something else, and then I came across this, and I couldn't not get it. Especially because I think it was 50% off when I bought it, but that might be wrong. Okay, I'm just going to show you. Big Twist Gradients set. So they had these in a variety of colors, but I am going to show you the one I got, which was this pink gradient set. I loved this. It spoke to me. My husband saw it and it spoke to him. He loves pink. So a little bit about it. It's worsted weight. There are 5 balls. Each ball is 50 grams, so it's 250 grams total. There are 580 yards or 530 meters. It's 100% acrylic. You can make a hat and an infinity scarf. It says a hat and an infinity scarf equals the whole container. So I think that's really cool, but also if you need a gradient set for any kind of project you're working on and you have the neutral to go with, and it's a worsted weight project, this would be a great set to add to that. Again, they have them in multiple colors. This was so cool, and it was $6 at Joann's. I don't know if it's still that price. I know I did get it on sale, but $6 for this. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have used a Big Twist before. I really like their yarns. They have some really cool items. So definitely check this out at your local Joann. They should also have it online, so take a look there. I think this is such a great value, and it's going to serve so many wonderful purposes. So definitely check this out. Okay, so what I want to do now is, because I do plan to do the massive giveaway after the new year, I want to show you some of the things that I have for you. I'm not going to show you everything, but I do want to show you some of the things that I plan to give away, just to kind of tease you and get you really excited for what's coming. Now, I want to point out early on, the giveaway is going to be one item per person, and we're going to do it in a drawing system. So I'm going to go to that video, I'm going to take everybody's screen name, and I'm going to type them up, cut them out, put them in a bowl, and we're going to draw. That way I can also keep the name attached with whatever prize it is, because it's going to be, I pull this out, I draw a name, this is who gets it. I think that's the most fair in this way. And the other thing is, you might get something worth $30, you might get something worth $5. It's all up in the air. I'm going to just draw them out at random. So what I'm hoping, the only thing that I might give more than one thing to is I do have a couple of little like notions bags. So if I feel like you're only getting 50 grams of yarn, I'll probably throw in like a notions bag or something like that, just to make it kind of as even as I can make it. But I also want it to be kind of like, ooh, who's going to get this thing and this thing, because there is a variety of stuff in here, and I couldn't think of a way to be like, well, you qualify for this prize versus this prize. There's no qualifications. It's just, I'm going to draw it out at random, and I'm going to draw a name, and you get what you get. But I'm hoping everything I've chosen is going to be really awesome and something that you guys will actually use and really like. So let me go ahead and show you some of the things that I found, or pulled from my stash, or things that I've purchased specifically for this giveaway. So let's start with something I had in my stash. I had several balls of this, and I couldn't think of what to use it for, but I love the way that it looks, and I think it's going to serve somebody it's going to serve a purpose for somebody, and I know they're going to love it. So it is 100% acrylic. I love this yarn, so I believe this is a Hobby Lobby yarn. This was gifted to me in a really old, like it was, I think my mom bought this yarn haul stash from somebody back home, and this was part of what was in there. Again, I had several balls of this, so I thought it'd be really fun. So it's a red, but then woven through the red are different colors, so there's yellows and blues and some, maybe a green and a purple. So it does kind of have a cool gradient going through it as well. It's 100% acrylic, and I think this really, it would go great in a blanket or, you know, a baby hat or something like that. So that's one of the items. Let's see. I'm going to give one of the Karen, actually I might have two of these, Karen and Pantone mini skein sets. I bought 4 of these and realized I didn't need 4 of them. So I've got a neutral set here. This is a bulky weight yarn acrylic merino blend, I believe. Acrylic nylon merino blend. Very soft. There's so many really cool projects that you could do with this, especially check out the yarns page on Ravelry and look this up. There's so many really cool things you can do with this. So I think there's 1 or 2 of these sets that's going to be in the giveaway as well. I have this skein of yarn. It is fingering weight, and the colors are amazing. It never had a tag. I can't remember where I got this. This might have been given to me. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I don't know what the content is. I believe it's natural. It looks hand-dyed. So this is going to be in there. Again, I don't really know anything about it. I know it's fingering weight, and I know it's 100 grams. That's about all I know. Okay, so one of the 50-gram things I'm going to give is the Knit Picks palette in the colorway Ruibos Heather. This is a fingering weight yarn. It is Peruvian Highland wool, 231 yards, so 50 grams. This is really cool. I bought this a while ago just because it was on the clearance section of Knit Picks when I first learned about Knit Picks. It was like $1 a ball. Maybe a little more, maybe like $2 or something, $2.50 maybe. It was just one of those that they were getting rid of. It was clearance, it was priced to go. So I bought a few of these, and I think I bought 4 of each. So I kept a couple for me, but I realized that I'm not going to use all of them. So this is one of the things that's in there as well. Knit Picks palette Rubos Heather. Another thing that'll be in there is a skein of my hand-dyed. This is Pumpkin Patch. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, sport weight, 267 yards, I believe. This is one of my first hand-dyeds, and I kept it because I kind of liked the reminder of where I've been, or where I started and where I'm going. But this is Pumpkin Patch, and I think this will serve somebody really well as well. It's a beautiful skein, and it's 100 grams, so, and it is, wool. It'll soften up with washing. But again, Peruvian Highland wool can kind of be a little rough. I recommend this more for maybe adding it into a shawl or something. But this is going to be in there as well. All right, I want to show you some of the more fun things. There's a lot in here, guys. There's so many skeins and so many different little things. So I'm just kind of going through and picking out some of the highlights. So my local yarn shop carries a few hand dyers, and one of them is 3 Irish Girls, and I saw one skein that I thought one of you might really, really like. So this is Adorn Luxe, and so that's their Adorn Luxe base on Creme de la Creme is the colorway. It is a 85% merino, 15% nylon fingering weight yarn, 430 yards from 3 Irish Girls. This is so soft and so pretty. I love how the colors blend in this yarn. This is an amazing skein, and one of you is going to get this as well. And then one of the other ones I got was Madeline Tosh came out with their Christmas colorways, or their holiday colorways. So I got one called Grinch. Beautiful, beautiful. It's a green with black speckles. Excuse me, fingering weight yarn. There's some stellina in here. I don't know if you can see the sparkles, but there's some stellina in here. Absolutely gorgeous. I think this is going to be a favorite of somebody's stash. This is in the giveaway as well. And one of my other big highlights, I've shown this on the podcast before, but I want to show it to you again, is this beautiful project bag from Frosted. Oh no, I've lost the card. Oh, Front Range Bags. Oh, thank goodness she puts a tag in here. Front Range Bags. I showed this on the last podcast because it was one of my Stitches SoCal pieces. This is an amazing bag. It's going to serve you so many purposes, and it's just gorgeous. So of course it's zippered, it's padded, it's got a flat bottom, and it stands up on its own. It's got pockets for days, beautiful pockets in here. There's pockets on both sides of the outside. There's little rings, so if you're doing color work and need to keep your work separate, or your yarns separate for color work, you've got 2 rings there. But a lot of people are like, well, I want to switch the project out so I can take the bag with me, but if it's in a ring, I have to cut the yarn to get the project out. Well, she thought of that. The ring comes apart so you can get your yarn out and switch out your project. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bag. She does have an Etsy shop if you want to check that out. It's frontrangebags.etsy.com. That's going to be in the video description box below as well. Check this out, but this is going to be on the giveaway. Whoever gets this, you're hitting the jackpot. This is such an amazing bag, and I really want to thank the owner for giving this to me for free to give away to you guys. She really, I told her about what I try to do on this channel, which is to give those who can't always spend a whole lot of money you know, I try to give those people the opportunity to have, you know, nicer things. So I really, really want to thank her for being so generous and gifting this. It's amazing, and I cannot wait to give it to one of you because I know that you're going to love it. All right, so that's just kind of some of the highlights. I still have a huge bag down here full of stuff to give away. I know you guys are going to be excited. I think this is probably close to about 30 winners. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, give or take. Actually, I love this, but now that I think about it, I think I'm going to throw this into this Queensland Perth. This is going to be in the giveaway. I want one of you to have this. All right, so I want to do just a couple of my favorite things, and by a couple of my favorite things, I mean all of you guys. You are my favorite. I could not do all of this without your support and your continued commitment to this channel and to lifting me up and always letting me know what you think about my videos and what you think about the content that I create and the patterns that I create and the projects that I do. I couldn't do this without you. You are really the biggest part of why I do this. I couldn't do this if I didn't have you guys. So I really just thank you so much for everything that you do and everything you do to lift me up. It really is just an incredible feeling to know that you guys are there for me as much as I want to be there for you. So thank you again so much. You guys are my favorite things, and I hope that your holiday season is going to be amazing because everyone deserves to have a good holiday. So for those of you who are just here for the knitting and the yarn and the fiber, this is where we can say goodbye because I'm going to have a couple of life updates. It's not going to take very long, just a couple of little things to touch on. But for those of you who aren't interested in the life updates part of this, I will see you again very soon. And for those of you who want to stick around, just a couple little things. So I got a raise at work. We had my end of year review, and I'm very excited. I got a 4.1% raise, which usually I've been told the highest was 3%, so the fact that they gave me a 4.1% raise is just ecstatic to me. It's so nice to see all my hard work rewarded, because I do try really hard at my job. And even though I've been very outspoken saying, you know, this is just like, this isn't a career for me. This job allows me to do the things that I love to do when I leave. You know, I've been very upfront with my boss saying, I love everything I do here, but this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. I work very hard. I do everything to do, and I do step up and take on new projects and new things, and I try to teach and I try to learn and I try to do everything I can to be great at my role. And when I say that this isn't a career, what I mean is that I'm not interested in trying to move up the ladder. What I'm interested in doing is coming in, doing this role, doing this job at the best that I can possibly do, finding ways to change it and make it better and to make it more efficient and to improve it and to pass it along and pass on knowledge and to be somebody who knows what they're doing and someone that people can come to when they have questions. That's what I try to do in my role, and I've been very clear that I want this role, if I leave this role, I'm not sure that I'll have the same opportunities that I have because of this role, with the flexibility and the hours and the pay and everything else. I mean, yes, pay could always be better, but I'm not going to get the same work-life balance in another role that I get in this role. And to be honest, I'm happier knowing that I can go in at 6 a.m. instead of 9, be done at 2, leave, still have half the day to myself, do all of the things that I want to do and love to do, and spend time with my friends and my family, and that be it. Like, I love that. And if that means that I stay at the pay that I'm at and just keep getting my yearly raises, then that's what that means. And I'm okay with that. I love that. And so to know that that didn't affect how they saw me and how valuable they think I am in this role, and they gave me more than they usually give for a yearly raise. it just means the world to me. And I don't know if that, I hope that doesn't sound like bragging, because it's really not. It really just is. There are times in my life where I just don't feel appreciated, and this is one of those times when I do. And I'm just so thankful, and I'm very grateful, and to me, it's just a confirmation that what I'm doing is right, and what I'm doing, the work I'm putting in, is worth it. So, yeah, that's an awesome thing that happened. So I'm going to go home for New Year's. I'll be here in Henderson for Christmas, but I'm going to fly home on the 29th for New Year's. It's going to be I'm only going to be gone for like 72 hours, so it's going to be kind of a hectic weekend, but I'm really excited to be able to see my family again. I haven't seen them since Christmas last year? No, I was home in April. I haven't seen them since April, so, I miss them, and I want to see them, and spend just, the little bit of time that I'm going to get with them. I'm really excited to spend that with them and see everybody. I won't see my grandparents because I think they're leaving the 28th to go to Florida, and I'm coming up the 29th, so we're just going to miss each other. But other than that, I'm really excited to see everybody and to be home, and to, I think Mom actually still has some of my Christmas presents there. She shipped some, but I think she kept some too. So I'm just really excited to go home and be with everybody and have food and fellowship, and just, well, I plan to drink on New Year's Eve. Nothing else to say about that. Anyway, so I'm really excited for that. The other thing I'm excited for is setting goals for the new year. What I've realized is that New Year's resolutions, I guess just the way I think about them, I never really hold on to that idea. So what I'm trying to do is think long term. What do I want to see out of myself, out of this, out of my Etsy shop, out of my yarn dyeing? What do I want to see? Where do I want to be? But long term, and then how do I take that and say, okay, so in 6 months, this is where I want to be. In 1 year, this is where I want to be. So I've been setting goals, and so I actually want to kind of bring that up here because you guys are my biggest supporters. I have been considering, because I'm doing a lot of dyeing for my local yarn store, I have been considering rebranding. Not the channel and not everything, but I want to rebrand the yarn line. I'm thinking about having a yarn line where I do actually charge for profit, because I've been very clear that I haven't been dyeing yarn for profit. I've been dyeing it solely for the purpose of being able to restock my inventory. But I'm realizing that as I get better and more people want it, and I do want to participate in the competitive market. I like that. I don't know why I'm starting to really enjoy that as much as I am, but I like the competition. But before anybody starts freaking out, what I want to do is I want to brand myself in a way where I have the line that's higher end, but then I still want to have my budget line. And so I want to have my high-end line, and then I want to have the budget knitter buy, and then my high-end line, so that I can still market to those of you who have been there from the very beginning and have loved what I've produced and put out there. And I want to continue to be able to provide for you. I just also want to have something that can grow with me as I grow. So what I've been trying to be very conscious about is, you always hear it in movies, like, when you get famous, don't forget the little people. And I'm really taking that to heart, because there's actually been some attitude recently about, there are a lot of podcasters or people who started out kind of small, and they're like, we're never going to sell out, we're never going to do this, we're never going to do that. And then you actually see some animosity towards those people now, because they did start taking sponsorships, they did start, doing this or that. And that's what I don't want to do, is fall into that category. What I want to do is to grow and to change and to improve, but to continue to remember that this is not about me. As much as I love it, and it is about me, it's not always about me. There are people who have been there, who have always supported you, and you should never forget those people. So I want to be very conscious about who I'm doing this for. And so if and when I build this new line, I don't want to get rid of the old one. I just want to make it a derivative of the new one so that I can continue to grow, but I can also still give to those people who have been there, who deserve to continue to be served and marketed to. Marketed to is such a terrible way of putting this. To be able to continue to give to those who have given to me. So that is something that I'm thinking about. Those are goals that I'm thinking about and things that I'm trying to wrap my head around, because there's a lot that's going to have to go into that, and so that's just, it's new territory for me. So I'm excited and I'm nervous and I'm scared, but overall I think it's going to be a great experience. With that said, I am actually planning on going to several festivals and going to different retreats. I'm trying to expand my horizons within this community and find out who people are and what they do and why they do it and how they do it. So I do plan on going to Stitches West in February. I'm really excited about that. I've actually already scheduled the time off from work. And then there's a retreat in April with a friend of mine, Izzy, from California, and he and I and our friend Rafa, I think, are all going to go to that retreat as well in April, so I'm really excited about that. It's really exciting to know that there are these things out there that I have the opportunity to go to and to spend my time doing. So those are things that I'm working on, the goals that I'm setting, and I hope you will continue to join me in that journey. With that said, I'm going to go. I've got a lot to do today, so I want to thank you for joining me here on this channel, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And at this time, I don't think I will see you again until after the new year, but just in case, happy holidays, and I will see you again very soon here on the Budget Knitter podcast channel.